On today's episode of Blending Bourbon, I am flying solo in a tuxedo, and I am taking a deep dive and taking you through what's to come from 2XO through the end of the year.
Blending Bourbon is the podcast that takes you beyond the barrel and behind the scenes of the whiskey industry with master blenders Dixon, DEDMAN, and David Mark Young.
I would love to welcome you back to another episode of Blending Bourbon. I am Dixon DEDMAN of 2XO Whiskey, normally joined by my very good friend, the reigning champion of the county fair's corn dog eating contest in Omaha, Nebraska, and the founder, master blender of Golden Sheaf, Mr. David Mark Young. Unfortunately, today, Mr. Mark Young is having technical difficulties, which means I am not only the pilot, but I am also the co-pilot. And I want you to know that one of the wonderful things that comes with travel and being on the road a bit is that, you know, we in our house have this family calendar. And I know that you're thinking, oh my gosh, why is this guy, the podcast is important to me, but we may be overdoing it with a tuxedo. But what happens in my household is that if I am not traveling, and if it doesn't say that I'm out of town on the calendar, my lovely bride likes to volunteer me for some things. So while I would like to tell you, for those that you are watching on YouTube and can see this this lovely tuxedo tied myself, I would like to tell you that I've been at some fancy ball or a rager of a wedding or some award ceremony. In reality, my youngest son, who is in kindergarten, their school each year, the kindergarten program, has a wedding. They hold a wedding between the letters Q and U. And so unbeknownst to me, until I returned home from my most recent trip to Florida, my wife had signed me up to be the officiant for 5 different kindergarten classes as they held their Q and U wedding. And the kids are all dressed up, and the boys dressed up like quarterbacks, and the girls dressed up like queens, and there was a procession, and I had a script that I read 5 times, and I was the master of ceremonies for 5 different betrothals of the letter Q and U. So that is why I am wearing this old tuxedo. So we were trying to figure out, and Captain Technology is texting me right now that he's now seeking another laptop, so we'll probably never see him again. And it's not lost on me that the guy who was like his career was cyber security, which I don't know a whole lot, but I know cyber has to do with like computers. And that dude has more technical difficulties than anybody I've ever met. He must have had one hell of a support team. Between hair and makeup and his IT support, it must have been quite an undertaking. I've been I'm always complaining about being on the road. And I just returned. Last week was a great Florida visit. Spent 2 days in Miami, and then a couple days in Jacksonville. Miami was an experience. I had never been to South Florida before. It is really cool. It's different. It's a lot different than I had expected. I expected Miami to be kind of Los Angeles-esque, and it was not. It was really, really, really cool. And I say that not that I toured the damn city, but most of what I do on those things are liquor stores and boardrooms at our distributors talking about 2XO and the program and all that kind of stuff. And so when we were discussing what to kind of put together here, I think, one of the things I've been doing a lot on these travels and then also a lot of lovely Zoom meetings and things like that is talking about, what we've got coming from 2XO. 2XO, we've got 2 releases out. Phoenix Blend, we launched, sold out. Innkeeper's Blend is out there, moving somewhat slowly sometimes through distributor channels, just the logistics of getting it to 40 different markets and then how they split it up to all their different markets and things it's kind of like maddening. And I kind of decided I just don't want to know about it until it gets where it's supposed to go, because sometimes it takes forever to get there sometimes. But anyway, really kind of talking to our partners, both on the retail, the on-premise side, the restaurant side, as well as our distributor partners, about what's coming. Because my wheelhouse has always been these individual blends, these unique blends, and that is kind of the middle piece and kind of my wheelhouse when it comes to to what we're doing, what we're creating, and I have until next Wednesday to share the barrel manifest for the Tribute blend. So the third blend in the Icon series of 2XO will be the Tribute blend, which is kind of cool because we did the Phoenix blend, and it was really about me starting something new, rising from the ashes. That's fine. Phoenix was phenomenal. Phoenix was this just amazingly easy drinking whiskey. It was a fun blend to put together. The response was incredible. And then, the thing about really anything is the first thing you do has to be good, right? But if you shit the bed on the second one, no one, they're gonna, it's like, oh, that was good, and then it wasn't. And so you have a tough time kind of getting people jazzed about the third one. Well, the second one, the Innkeeper's blend, has just been the response has been incredible. I just found out yesterday, both the Phoenix and the Innkeeper's blend received double platinums from the Ascot Awards. We've talked awards, but Fred and that, that one means a lot, actually. That one's really cool, and I'm really proud of both of those. And the story of the Innkeepers, is kind of paying tribute to my family's, history and hospitality, and that's really where I learned what it means to, work hard, work for yourself. That nobody's gonna, you don't wait for somebody else to do it, because you got to do it, and where you learn your kind of core values and who you are, and that's where I learned mine, was in hospitality and innkeeping and dealing with the public, so to speak. And so I'm really excited about the next one, which we'll bottle end of July and get into market probably in the September timeframe. And what's amazing about this bottle for me is that not only did they agree that the Tribute blend was a cool name, but we're actually putting my family's crest on the front of the bottle. So the icon for the Tribute blend is the DEDMAN family crest, which is something that I'm very excited about. I took that to another level and have decided that I will, once I've got it where I want it. But I've had my father involved in the blending, in the development of that blend, because I wanted to make a whiskey, make a bourbon for my dad, and one that had our family crest on, one that, he's very proud of all of them, but I think this one means a lot to him. And so to get his involvement, is really cool. But at the same time that we're going to be producing the Innkeeper's blend, we're going to be producing the first iteration of the Oak series. The Oak series is going to be kind of the core brand, the flagship piece. This is not an LTO, not a limited time, not a limited quantity. This is going to be an ongoing, everyday available, always available, everyday offering that we'll try to work to get into cocktail programs, to get into just everybody's everyday rotation in terms of and at a $49.99 price point. I'm very excited about getting something out there that we can, to a certain extent, make a little bit easier for people to get, to enjoy, to have on a regular basis. And this one is called American Oak, and what we're doing is taking the equivalent of about 75% of the surface area that you would get when you double barreled. We're taking that quantity of oak, putting it on a stainless steel chain, charring that chain of oak, and then inserting it into barrels. And that will be in the barrel for up to, for 9 to 10 months. And so it's a double oaking instead of a double barreling. But the 2x oak, is still there, done with heavy charred American white oak inserted into these 5.5 to 6 year old barrels for an additional 9 to 10 months. It'll be a lower proof on this. But that heavy additional oak exposure really shines even as you reduce the proof, and the proof it will be at 92, so it'll be not a it's full flavored, but it's not full octane, and I think it's more approachable to kind of the casual everyday consumer. So that's and I the thing about that oak series is we're going to add iterations to that. So American Oak will always be there. In January or February of next year, I'll launch the second, the sister product to that, which will be a French oak version. So I'm doing the same process, but inserting chains of this charred French oak into the barrel. So new French oak interaction. We've got a cognac infused oak that I'm working through. I'm looking at doing a bottled and bond version of that oak series. There's a sherry finished oak that we're looking at. And then, the Mizunara is probably one that we've looked at. I'm not sure that Mizunara is, I'm not sure it's sustainable, cause there's just not that much of it. I'm afraid it's going to get stupid expensive. Hungarian oak is one. I didn't know Hungarian oak was a thing, but it's a thing. We're looking at that. But the goal is to eventually have at least 3, if not 4, ongoing, every day, always available shelf facings in that oak series. And then the last thing that we're going to release this year. So a Tribute and Oak series in September, and then the Gem of Kentucky series, which is the single barrel that we'll launch once a year. Just fantastic. The team at Prestige has been incredible with the packaging of this thing. So it's we've been working on this for at least 2 years. My original vision of 2XO was that shiny black bottle, and we've been working from that vision since then. This will be the top of the pyramid for the time being. Single barrels, exclusively the 35% rye mash bill, exclusively the double barreled barrels. So the 35% rye mash bill at 6+ years of age that is then entered into new charred oak containers a second time. Some char 3, some char 4. I will select them. They're not to be on profile. They're to be special. If I think they're special, they're getting bottled. They will, and some will be a little fruitier, a little spicier coming from the 3s. Some will be a little heavier, richer, thicker coming from the 4s. If they make the cut because they're good, they're going in, not because they all taste exactly the same. They'll all be numbered. So we have the barrel number on each one of those releases. And then on the back, it will say what year they were released. So, there'll be somewhere between 65 and 75 single barrels produced in 2023. And then we'll incrementally, add to that in 2024 and beyond. I got there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of whiskey to taste. But we've kind of we've established 2XO with 2 very solid releases, and then going to at the end of this year add both an everyday type offering as well as an ultra premium, very limited release on top of that. And that's kind of the plan moving forward. There will be the Oak series, which will continue to add different offerings, but once they're out there, they will always be there. So the core brands in the Oak series will be always available. We're going to stick to the plan with the Icon series. So each spring and each fall, we will release a version of the Icon series. Blends always change. Icon and Story always change. And then usually somewhere the target is like October to launch these Gem of Kentucky single barrels. That stuff, I don't know if I talked about this before. It is great. We were I was at an event in Los Angeles, and the food and beverage editor for the LA Times. I tasted there's a group, 30, 40 people, but she was there, and I went over and spoke to her, and she said, that Phoenix blend, love that. I love that in the cocktail they made. Like they made a really great riff on a Sazerac with it. It was phenomenal. So I love that in a cocktail. It's like I'm going to get one, for really nice cocktails when I have people I like at my house that like cocktails. So the Innkeeper's blend. So that finished. So I want that on a cube. I just want to enjoy that on a big cube. I just want to sit there and savor it. She said, this Gem of Kentucky thing that you got here, this sample that you brought, and I straight brought it in a glass bottle that just had a number on it. I mean, there was no formal pack. This was a straight barrel sample. And she said, that one I want to bathe in. She was like, I want to drink it while I bathe in it. She said that, and I thought, okay, can we make sure that makes it to print? But it was really cool. I'm really excited about that stuff. That liquid has a lower entry proof, and then because the majority of what we're doing, and because of the way I'm changing this model a little bit, is to go towards palletized storage as opposed to rick storage. We are, the proof, we're generally losing proof each year as it ages. And as you lose proof, it oftentimes intensifies a lot of the flavor because you don't have to fight through the alcohol when you're tasting something that's 130, 140. These are coming out of the barrel in the 112, 113 range. So we're going to bottle the Gem of Kentucky at 108, so I don't have to change it with every barrel on the label. So it's a flat 108. Some of these are 109, 110. But it's not, we can't necessarily say that it is barrel strength or cask strength or barrel proof or whatever, although I know there's semantics involved with those things, but it is very close, and it's very full flavored. It's very rich. It's very viscous. It's very thick, on the palate, and then moves to this really kind of long, rich, but kind of baking spicy thing on the back end. So, I'm actually really, really, really excited to get the oak out there because I think that's going to open some doors, to get in some places in this business. And I don't mean to get myself in trouble, but I've watched it both from somebody running restaurants as well as, what we went through with Kentucky Owl and Stoli and the distributors and stuff. But you get these sought after LTOs, and there's a game. There's always a game. And the big chains flex muscle and say, we want this, or there's a thing that's like, if you buy this many cases of this product that we need to get out of our warehouse, then we'll give you extra of this. And, there's always this kind of game, at that level. Like, we want more of this, or we sell more cases of this, so we should get more of this, or, and I try to stay out of that. I try to stay above that. I shouldn't say above that, but I can't get pulled into every one of those conversations as much as I would like to stand up for some of the independents and the people who, where we want their, I want the product there. I think the oak is going to open up a lot of opportunities, for us to, get into some of the cooler places that are smaller, that are more, that are independent, that maybe don't have the buying power, so they can't flex that muscle. And I hope that we can help support them through the Oak series, which will mean that we can, get them more of the Icon series, the Gem of Kentucky, because of the way they're supporting, Oak. And so, that's going to be a great one to get out. I'm really excited about getting this tribute done and being able to share that with my dad. And then the Gem is just special. It's just going to be really cool to see that go out, see how that, see the response to that. 'Cause it's everything I wanted to do to really push a certain level of modernity in this space that's been such a heritage space for so long. And I know I've talked about that before. I love it, and I love that the history and that part of this industry. But a lot of times the consumer nowadays, they're looking for something new and something different and something that's evolving a little bit from that kind of whiskey is what my granddad drank to, hey, this is something that I've found that I think is cool, that I've stumbled onto. And I love the history of it. I loved telling my family's history with Kentucky Owl, but now kind of moving more towards telling the story of the product. What makes the product special? What is 2XO? What makes 2XO special? What makes it different? Where the hell did you come up with that? That's and to be able to have multiple things out there at the same time is also very exciting. To be able to start doing events, late in the fall, where we can actually taste the Oak series, move into the tribute blend, and then move in and finish with the Gem of Kentucky. Those are things I'm very excited about. So you just got the deep dive into what's happening with 2XO from a guy in a penguin suit. I really have hope I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry that Gomer didn't make it today, but we'll make up for it at some point. And if he doesn't make it next time, I'll tell you everything that's going on with Golden Sheaf, because I know, because I just tell him what to do, because he's a robot. I'm just kidding. If he was a robot, he'd be able to fix his computer. But all that said, I hope to see y'all again very soon. Cheers. David says, no laptop shit, it's rebooting. Oh, he's calling me right now. What's up?
I'm not sure what's going on. Fuck. Sorry. I just got off a call and logged into my laptop, and so it made me reboot. But now it's rebooted again.
You should just watch porn on your phone. Like, you shouldn't watch it on your laptop.
It's actually one of my my rules. Like, I've never actually watched porn on my laptop. Never. It's like work only. Never.
Clearly, it's not never.
No, it's